Hello guys, I'm Urban Fox Gamer and today I'll be talking about Blender 2.82a as a 3ds Max user. So a little bit about me, been using 3ds Max since 2010, version I've been using is 2008, going to 2010, 2011, and 2014 is my go-to. Making models just for fun and a little bit for my personal projects in games and school, and didn't expand that much. I'm more of a modeler than going beyond, realistic rendering. So I've been doing that for 10 years. Now, the jump for Blender, the reason why I am now enticed to use Blender because it's free, because Max isn't free. Second, it's lighter, like there it's just 129 MB if I'm not mistaken, compared to 3ds Max is 4 gig. Third is it has a lot of neat features like sculpting. There's like a 2D drawing thing, and of course sculpting. It's now kind of like ZBrush because of the new updates. Fourth one is it has industry compatible controls now because 2.5 doesn't have it, but that was the first time I've used Blender 2.5. It was very hard for me to model. I only use Blender as my rigging program because it's much more easier to rig. I tried using 2.79 because it has now the 3ds Max controls, but that was in the end of the development cycle of 2.79. They said 2.8 will be a complete overhaul, so that made me stop learning Blender. So I waited for 2.8. 2.8 came out. They removed the industry controls or 3ds Max controls. Oh no! So I waited, and on this month of May of 2020, I started learning Blender for now 3 weeks. 3 weeks I've been trying to learn how to do this and that. It was quite easy, surprisingly. I thought it was hard because 2.5 made me, stop learning because everything is like a piano. You have to press this, that. But the industry controls of 2.82a made it easy because I can now do like Max or Maya doing QWER. Um, the camera controls are almost identical by pressing Alt, left click, rotation. Alt middle mouse is panning, and scroll wheel is zooming in and out. The only thing that I modded here is the key bindings. I made it into a mishmash of Blender controls, a 3ds Max controls, and the default industry compatible controls. So that's what I only did here, and of course I added the key cast thing going on so you can see. So my overview of Blender as a 3ds Max modeler is it's all positive. The only negative for me it's the workflow is different from 3ds Max because 3ds Max have that feature that I really love, which is creating primitive objects in an interactive way, like so. It doesn't have that. Well, of course, it has that dialog box. And second thing that I don't like is if you made a mistake, click away, it goes away. You can't edit that anymore. Those two things are the only thing that I see negative. That this one is now, a thing that I need to learn to love. Is this the cursor and the element selection. So 1 is bird, 2 is edge, 3 is face. Again, this is industry compatible controls. I don't know Blender, the default Blender has the same controls. And 4 is the object mode. You have to go to object mode. Yeah, there you go. Object mode first in order to click an object, a separate object, like so. And of course, the cursor is where the spawn point of your new object, and it assigns. And this is a very nice, you know. Again, this is something that you need to grow to love to use. Let's just say snapping is on, snapping to edge middle. I snap here, the cursor. Now I want this object to go here, Q, and under object mode, which is 4, I need to shift X, and the spy menu comes out. Selection to cursor. There it is. It's now aligned. And of course, the gizmo is different. You need to grow to love this. I pretty much, you know, just a little bit of adjustment, but it's pretty much easy so far. So far, the learning experience for me doesn't have that steep learning curve anymore that made me scared in the first place, because tools are here on the left side, modifiers are here. It now encouraged me to use the layers and like Photoshop, because in Max it is hidden apparently. If it's hidden in front of me, I'm not gonna use it. Now it's now encouraging me to use layers. Now everything's here. Now from sculpting is here. Usually the UV in the materials will be, there's a pop-up dialog for 3ds Max users. Then you click a face, assign a material, but it's now here as a tab, a different area. It's called shading. There you go. Let me just delete that box. Bloop. So it's like 3ds Max. It has that node editor if you're transitioning, but it doesn't have like a material thing going on. So yes, the file manager's left side, there's a UV viewer here, which is convenient. You can see the textures. This is an animation tab. This is the rendering tab. There's timeline here, compositing here, which is a don't know yet. Scripting is, yes, if you want to do automation, coding, stuff like that, it's in Python. So yes. So again, this is my initial review of Blender 2.8, and so far I am having a blast because it's pretty much a very easy to learn program now. I'm gonna make it more easier for 3ds Max users by me giving you my keybinds. It's a mishmash again of Blender, 3ds Max, and industry controls. So if there's like Blender controls you need to search, it's easier because I made it into Blender, and a little bit of Max, like so. Let me give you an example, like Alt W for quad view, which doesn't work sadly like Maya and Max. Alt Q for isolation mode, Z for focus. What more? Well, in the next video I'll just explain it further. But so far I am having the time of my life with this program. I highly recommend it. This is from a guy who's been using a 3ds Max since 2010. And this is Urban Fox Gamer signing out.